Hi, and welcome to the Changing Perspectives podcast, the show where we discuss a variety of topics, including grief, parenting, health and wellness, and relationships. Join us and explore a number of changing perspectives. We're your hosts, Jenni and Josh Brennan. Hi, Jenni.
Hi.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Nothing? What is this episode number? 26.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a true story.
26. So how are you today?
I am tired.
You're tired. It's a long day.
I'm always tired.
You're always tired. And
we're only ever recording at night at the end of a work day or in the middle of my teaching day.
And you're teaching later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am, indeed.
Like you don't get done until what,
9:30.
9:30?
Well, 9:15 if students stay after class.
I love how in your virtual classes, students get in line to talk to you.
It is a little weird though because they can hear each other. I guess that's how it would be in like a regular classroom too. Like once the students file out of class, if a student stays to ask questions, the like two students waiting hear the whole conversation. But it's I don't know, it feels weirder when when it's a virtual classroom. So it's just people video looking at each other.
I thought that nobody could hear each other on that at the end.
No, they can.
Oh, that's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, we are here. We're tired, but we're here. And
we're here, but we're going to talk about something lighter.
Mm-hmm. And fun.
And also something that's kind of been at the forefront of our brains lately.
It really has. Because
Mm-hmm.
we are on the precipice of possibly going twice. This is like old school Brennan's.
So we're talking about Disney. and Disney has been on the forefront of our brain because when you go to Disney and you are staying on property 6 months out, or I guess 180 days out,
yes,
you can book your dining. And so we just had our 6-month window 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
A little less than 2 weeks ago tomorrow. I think it was on Wednesday, 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And so we had to sort of figure out, it's hard. It's kind of a hard part of Disney because it means 6 months ahead of time, you have to figure out where you want to eat and what time.
Yes.
So you need to know what park you're going to be at.
You have to be really good at planning or really just lean into the fact that you need to plan, right?
Yeah. And we're going to be there during the holiday. So, with my sister and her family. So it took a little bit of extra planning and a lot of talking. And now that we've got like our dining made, it's sort of making us think about the rest of our plans because in another 4 months, must be 4 months. I'm trying to do math while I'm talking.
What is it, 60 days?
I think it's 60 days. So I think that puts us in September. So roughly at the end of the summer, we then have to also decide what rides we want to get reserved. None of this is making Disney sound fun, but it is.
I know. There's so much work.
It is work. And then it means when you get there, you don't have to do so much work. And it kind of starts your vacation a little bit earlier because here we are sort of thinking about it. And so it's made us start watching like videos about Disney again on YouTube and read some of the Disney blogs and Facebook pages and things like that. I
really love that element. I like to look at it that way, that you get to like go on vacation early because you have to do so much planning, right?
Right, that's fun. But to your point about we might be going there twice.
Yeah.
We historically, the past 3 years, have gone away. The one sort of week around my birthday, we've gone away for 5 nights or so as a family. And we've gone to like a beach all-inclusive vacation where we literally do nothing. We just swim and then swim some more and then do some activities and then have a nice dinner.
Yep.
And the boys can order whatever they want because it's all-inclusive.
Laying in the sun, which is your favorite thing to do ever.
It is my favorite thing ever. But we're not doing that this year because we're doing the big Disney trip and a cruise later on this year. And as my 40th birthday is approaching, I've been sort of throwing a temper tantrum and being like, how are we not going away?
It's your birthday. You can cry if you want to, right?
So we took the week off that we usually do take off. We sort of figured out a way to have a pet sitter and fit it in between patients and classes and boys' sports schedules.
Yes.
However, we haven't booked anything yet.
Yes,
And
it's up in the air.
It's up in the air because
But that's our preference, is to go down to Orlando.
No, my preference is to do an all-inclusive.
Well, yes, but
those
where we are right now.
Prices are really expensive right now for airfare, no matter where we go. Plus, there's all this sort of attention about the Dominican Republic, which I won't really get into, but I don't think there's a big conspiracy and people are killing tourists on purpose down there.
Yeah, little hairy down there in that part of the world right now.
I don't really think it's any different than usual.
That's true. It's just, I guess maybe we just see it more. The
I
media's
think,
picking it up, maybe.
I think if we're thinking about adults that go, I'm not victim blaming here, so please don't anyone misunderstand me. I'm curious to look at the data. How many American tourists typically die in Punta Cana on a yearly basis? Because I have to think it's probably pretty high. If you're someone that goes away and you're suddenly like drinking a lot, and drug use is pretty rampant in a lot of the other countries, you start doing any of the drugs down there and you're not sleeping and you're drinking a lot and you're eating food, it's probably pretty likely that you're going to have a heart attack if you're not healthy. So I would be curious to look at the data.
That's interesting.
And compare. But so that being said, I feel like, oh my gosh, people would really, really judge us if we took our boys out of the country like that right now. So my next requirement then is, okay, it has to have palm trees.
Yes, that's a good requirement.
Feel tropical. And so I put into Google Flights our dates, and it tells you which airports in Florida are the cheapest, and Orlando actually came up as the cheapest. So we are currently thinking about renting a house with a private plunge pool in a resort community in the Disney area, but not actually going to Disney parks.
Disney parks, right.
But still maybe doing some Disney stuff.
Yes.
So all that to say, Disney has been on our brain a lot lately.
It really has. And I said old school Brendans because if you listen to our Myths About Walt Disney World episode, we talked about our history with Walt Disney World. And before we bought a house a few years ago, we went so much. We went multiple times a year. So we haven't gone multiple times a year in a long time.
And we used to do short trips.
Yes, 4 days, 5 days here and there.
2 or 3 times a year, we would go for a 4-night trip or a 5-night trip. So, I guess I hadn't really made that connection. It is feeling a little bit like, that's what we used to do. Yeah. Kind of like a last-minute trip to Disney. And I was telling friends about it the other night, and they were like, really? You're gonna wind up in the parks. And I said, no, we're really not.
There is a possibility, though.
Well, let's see.
Because we do have some.
Actually, listen to us.
We do have some family connections, which we don't ever really tap into.
No, but I don't think that they're. That's the busiest time of year for Disney.
Yeah, they might have restrictions.
So I don't think
so basically, what I'm referring to is, if you're a Disney cast member, you can get into the parks anytime you want. Well, that's not true. For free, as part of a benefit of being a Disney cast member, and you also get to bring folks with you. And we have family members who are cast members,
but truthfully,
they have restrictions.
No desire to
I don't really
go
have desires either. I mean,
the last time we went to Disney World in the summer, we said
never again.
It's hot, it's crowded.
But as we learned in Myths About Walt Disney World, there are lots of things you can do at Disney World and without having park tickets.
Well, yes, but also our kids are older now, so maybe Disney in the summer when it's hot is easier when you don't have an 8-month-old.
Might be okay.
It might be different. So, but we have figured out we could go and still sort of sit by the pool and do nothing we would do if we were in Cancun or Jamaica or Punta Cana. And then we could at night go do some of the Disney type things, go to Disney Springs, which is an outdoor sort of marketplace area for free. Or we could even go to the Universal, because doesn't Universal have City Walk or something
Pavilion?
like that? I don't know, something similar.
It's City Walk or the Pavilion, I forget.
We also talked about maybe one night riding the monorail through the monorail resorts and doing a little bar and appetizer hopping. And we could watch the fireworks and the electrical boat parade from one of the hotels.
Yep.
And then we also could go to the Boardwalk Hotel and the Beach Club Hotel, which are over by Epcot, and there's like a little boardwalk area there with restaurants and like entertainment and stuff. So we could still very much be in Disney.
Absolutely.
Without ever paying.
Well, did you talk about Disney Springs?
Yeah. Maybe this is a challenge accepted. We could do like a trip report.
We could do a trip report. So this is,
Stay
of course...
tuned. It all depends on what flights we're actually able to book. I was going to book them Friday, but then someone told me yesterday, don't book airlines ever on Friday. Book them on Tuesday and Wednesdays. So now we have to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay. Someone else said, just go to the airport and take a plane. I said,
that's a little scary.
That's scary with kids. I can't do that, but someday.
I think we talked about this in our Myths About Walt Disney World episode, where this is a very fun topic for us, a topic that's really near and dear to our family's hearts. And we could absolutely do an entire podcast on Disney, which we won't do, but... series. New show. Yeah. A whole show on Disney. We're not going to do that, but we are going to sprinkle in some good old-fashioned Disney fun, Disney podcast fun. And what we've got prepared for you today, and by prepared, I use that term very loosely, a good old-fashioned Disney top 10 list for each of you, for each of us to share with you.
Right. We didn't talk about this. When I did it, it was just my favorite top 10 Disney things.
That's what I did too.
Could be food,
Disney World.
Could be restaurants, could be what?
Disney World.
Yeah. Could be food, could be restaurants, could be rides, could be
specific
hotels,
food
could
items.
Be experiences. There is a specific
food
item. So, and mine's in no particular order.
I'm going to try to do. Actually, neither is mine, but I'm going to try to order it.
Mine might be kind of ordered.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, should we go ahead and get started and dive right into our top 10?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I'm trying to decide if I should number these. I think I just might be authentic to how they came to me. So my first one was tea at the Grand Floridian.
Oh, that's cool.
That is one of my favorite things to do, and I've only done it once. Is that true?
No, that's not true. You've done it twice.
Have I done it twice?
Yes.
Who did I do it twice with?
Your sister.
Did we do it twice?
I'm pretty sure you did it twice. She'll have to tell
you'll
us.
Have to let me know.
Yes.
But I really only remember doing it once.
Yeah. I think you did it twice. Anyway,
all right,
explain to everybody what it is.
It's one of my favorite things. You do have to pay extra for it, but the Grand Floridian Hotel is this gorgeous... I don't know what kind of design it is, but it's this big white hotel.
It's like Victorian.
Yeah, probably Victorian. It's a beautiful hotel. It's sort of sentimental to me because I remember going with my grandmother when they were building it and being really awed by how beautiful it was. And I think my grandmother did end up staying in it once. We've never stayed in it. Quite frankly, I don't really ever want to stay in it. It's too kind of Victorian and fancy for me. But I do like going and sitting in the lobby and listening to the piano player. And during the holidays, they have a big life-size gingerbread house there. But they also have this beautiful restaurant overlooking the water where in the afternoons you can do high tea, sort of the traditional English tea. Like you pick a pot of tea and you pick your sort of...
With like finger sandwiches?
Finger sandwiches and pastries and little desserts. And for the kids, they have like little pots of chocolate milk. It's really just fun.
I like a pot of chocolate milk. That sounds pretty good right now.
You've never done it.
I've never done it.
You've never done it. Actually,
I'm not a big tea guy.
Kristen, if you're listening, can we plan this for when we go this November? Can we book that? I want to go.
I'm surprised you guys haven't yet.
I know. I always forget it exists. It's fun and relaxing and kind of fancy. It makes me feel like I'm embracing my English roots, and I want to sort of live in England and have high tea every day. So that was the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know if that it's my very favorite, but it was the first thing that came to mind. So I really enjoy that and would love to be able to do it this year. And if I do, I will take pictures and maybe provide some feedback on that. So that was my first one.
Yeah.
Tea at the Grand Floridian.
This is another Pitbull-filled podcast with licking and scratching and shaking of heads and everything. So everybody should enjoy the sound of dogs. Okay, I don't really know.
To go away so much.
I just went, yeah, I just went with my gut, and I guess so my number, that was a great number 10, by the way. I love the Grand Floridian. Such a beautiful, beautiful resort. And what I like to do.
But I'm always afraid my kids are going to break something there.
That's true.
I'm always like, don't touch, watch out, careful, careful.
Some of my favorite things about that resort are the piano player. They have a beautiful grand piano, and they've got a piano player playing in the foyer. The foyer is beautiful. It's huge, very, very tall. They also have a live jazz band.
Is it maybe a foyer?
Foyer? Did I say foyer?
You said foyer, but I'm wondering if the Grand Floridian would call
it
the foyer.
I see foyer. You're right. The live jazz band, which is amazing.
Oh, yes.
They don't play all the time, but the other thing I love about that resort is it's right on. Is it Seven Seas Lagoon?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, I mean, I might have to fact check that. Whatever the lake is, it's part of Bay Lake, but whatever the body of water is that it overlooks, and if you just look at that whole what you call the resort loop, all those very deluxe, high level resorts, basically are surround the body of water there, and out of many of those resorts, including the Grand Floridian, you can rent boats. And I love renting boats and driving the boat around. Actually, we do that while Jenny goes and has high tea. The rest of us, me and my brother-in-law and the boys and whatever kids aren't doing high tea, like to rent a boat during that time. So that's a lot of fun. And that's not in my top 10, but that's an added little bonus. Jenny is corralling dogs while I vamp and talk about boats.
I think I've sort of.
I am going to have to look that up because I'm not sure if that is Seven Seas Lagoon. I will look that up while you talk about your number 9. My number 10, we're going to go with this. It just came to me. I went with Flights of Passage. It's on my list.
Is that the new ride in Animal Kingdom?
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always want to. Yeah. Flights of Wonder is a different.
That's
show
different.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
That didn't make my list, but that should have made my list.
It's an amazing ride. It's a new ride that is located at Animal Kingdom in the new area, well, fairly new, a couple of years now, in the Pandora area of Animal Kingdom, which is obviously from the movie Avatar. It's basically a 3D flying simulator. You get on the ride vehicle. Basically, is.
Are you reading this from their website right now?
No.
Do you have the website up with the description of the ride?
It's not their website. It's Google's website.
That's cheating.
Well, I just happen. I'm not cheating. I just happened to. I wanted to make sure I got the name of the ride right. Because it didn't sound, because I think of Flights of Wonder, I think of the bird show, and I just happened to see a little description, so I'm cheating a little bit, but you ride what is in the movie those big like dragon looking animals, which are banshees. And you basically, it's this 3D ride. It's very immersive. There's smells and air blows in your face. There's even one point where you feel the spray of ocean. It's quite amazing. You feel the banshee breathing in between your legs.
Yeah, I have to say I had almost a panic attack before our first time on that ride, because you're basically getting on like a motorcycle.
Yes.
And then it locks you in. Like, it locks your calves and it like locks your back in.
I feel very secure in that, though.
I don't like being restricted, and so the thought of that really freaked me out. But then once I did it, yes, I felt very secure. Like, I prefer an overhead harness for a roller coaster. I just feel more secure in that. So I do feel really secure. So I love that ride. That ride got me out of bed twice for a 5 a.m. wake up, like 2 days in a row, so we could be the first ones in line at the park. And we stood there in the rain for an hour before the park opened, just so we could be first in line for that. And we've never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
And it was so good, we did it again.
You should, if you're interested, you don't know what we're talking about, you've never been, just go to YouTube and type in Flights of Passage and click on any of the videos that come up.
But don't watch the ride.
Don't watch the ride, but you can, there's like sort of promotional videos of the ride, and you can see a little bit of it. If you're interested to see a little bit of the POV of it, you can. Just don't watch the whole thing. You can look at the ride queue and what?
POV.
POV, like personal point of view. Yeah. You can watch the pre-show or the ride queue. It's a lot of fun. I wanted to add put a ride on my top 10, and that's the first ride that came up. So Flights of Passage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my number 9 is all the boats.
All the boats.
All
okay.
the boats. So like the boats. Well, when I was a kid, I took a boat out on like a jet ski or something out on the.
It wasn't a jet ski.
It
wasn't a ski-doo.
It's like a 2-person speedboat.
Yeah.
With my
Which
dad.
we've done before as well.
Have we?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Me and my brother and Jackson.
But not me.
Not you.
Not me.
No, not you. Haven't done it, but we've done it.
Okay. So. You've done it, not me.
Yes.
I did it with my dad.
We as in me and Jackson.
And our boat broke down and we had to be like rescued. But
are you serious?
yeah, like ran out of gas.
I don't think I know
it
that.
Stalled, so we had to have some like Disney Coast Guard person, not really Coast Guard, but the equivalent, come over and like, I don't know. My dad, if he listens, would have to tell us. Did they get towed? Did they give us gas? Did they restart it? I don't really remember. So I don't do that because I know there's gators in those waters, so I'm all set with going out on little boats on those. But I was talking about like the boats that sort of take you from Hollywood Studios to the back entrance of Epcot, and also to the boardwalk.
The friendship boats.
No, aren't the friendship boats the ones that run in Epcot?
Oh, are they?
In the like lagoon inside World Showcase.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So there's those boats, which I like, which will
there's
take
boats
you from,
all
like,
throughout, and I have.
Yeah, I like all the boats. There's boats in Epcot that will take you from like one side of World Showcase to the other side of World Showcase. There's boats that will take you from Hollywood Studios to the back side of Epcot. There's boats at Disney Springs that will take you from one side of Disney Springs to the other, and also down the river to Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter. I like all those boats.
Don't they drive by
Old Key West.
Yes, Old Key West as well.
Saratoga Springs.
There's also ferries that take you from the parking lot at Magic Kingdom to.
I don't really like those boats.
Right, but I'm saying there's boats everywhere. And I love that I love your number 9. I love that there's boats everywhere. That's a sort of dream of mine. I want to retire in Florida with Jenny, and I want to drive a boat for Disney.
I think that I could be a therapist in Disney or in Florida.
Or you could retire and do something a lot less stressful.
But I don't think my work is stressful. I really like my work. I want to be 98 years old, hobbling around, still being someone's therapist.
I like that.
Maybe not a full caseload.
And I will be driving a boat in Walt Disney World.
Could I drive the boat with? Oh wait, we could buy a boat. And it could be like a therapy boat. And you could drive us around, and I will do therapy in the back of the boat, so it's private. Okay. And then we'll let them off, and then go pick up someone else.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe. I kind of like driving a boat for Disney things. Okay. That's okay.
What's your number 9?
My number 9, I don't know. Let's go with this. Let's go with the bread pudding at Ohana. It's on my list. So Ohana is a restaurant in Walt Disney World at the Polynesian Resort. Is it the Polynesian Village Resort now? I think it is. They changed the name a little bit. The Polynesian. It's a family style, not buffet, but sort of all you can eat restaurant. They do breakfast and dinner, and we love Ohana. A lot of great food.
I love Ohana dinner. I do not like Ohana breakfast.
I don't mind Ohana breakfast, but I prefer the dinner.
But I don't really like breakfast.
It's a lot of fun. And it's one of those. Yeah, you don't like breakfast. Yeah. It's one of those restaurants at Walt Disney World that fills up quick, reservation wise. Mm-hmm. So if you want to get in, you have to really get in at that 6-month mark, 180-day mark. We always seem to go with a bunch of people, which is a lot of fun. We've always gone with a big group. They have a lot of amazing food. They've got I can't even list. Like so much good meat. It's like Polynesian cuisine, right? Yeah.
They basically just
Asian with an Asian flair. Yeah, it's just they keep bringing food. There's a really good lo mein.
Really great salad, really great pineapple coconut bread with honey butter to start.
I'm getting hungry.
Shrimp, steak, chicken.
We're recording this before dinner.
Pork.
It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
steak, good steak.
What's this, like, dumplings? They're not dumplings, so they're pan-fried ravioli kind of.
Yeah.
So good. The food's
Pot
so
stickers.
Good. Pot stickers, that's what I was looking for.
But the standout for me at Ohana is the dessert, which is the warm bread pudding. It's a banana bread pudding, and it's got this warm caramel glaze or caramel sauce. I say caramel, not caramel. I just love it. It's one of my favorite food items in Walt Disney World. Mm-hmm. So that's my number 9, the bread pudding at Ohana.
Okay, all right. I think that's fair. Let's see. So we're on number 8 now.
8.
My number 8 would be the Wishes. Nope, sorry. Well, the Animal Kingdom shows.
Huh?
The Animal Kingdom shows.
Animal Kingdom shows. So
yes,
you're talking
like
about
Lion King
and Nemo.
Finding Nemo, and whatever little entertainment they do outside Harambe Village.
Yes.
In the little square there. So
I love that in the Africa section.
And yes, Animal Kingdom does these like Broadway caliber shows, like 4 or 5 times a day each.
So you've got Finding Nemo the musical,
which is amazing, like visually stunning.
Same composers
like
who did Frozen.
Oh.
Yeah, and something else. I have to look it up. I love it. It's a really fun show. So well done. Absolutely Broadway caliber.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's like visually stunning. It's really gorgeous. And then the Lion King. They sort of do the whole Lion King story.
The Festival of the Lion King.
Yes, and it's so much fun. And there's like
that one's very interactive, which is great.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. So I love those shows, and so it's funny to like go to Disney and sit and watch a show, I guess. But those are 2 of my favorites to do. I'm really looking forward to doing those in November.
It's the Avenue Q composers, Robert Lopez and his wife Kristen Anderson Lopez.
Is that the play that they're doing in Big Little Lies?
It is.
Huh, look at that. Yeah. Everything comes full circle.
It does come full circle. That's a great show, by the way. So I think, and I want to say they also did Frozen. I think I'm almost 100% sure on that.
And the Harambe Village or Harambe Square in the sort of Africa section of Animal Kingdom, we're often there in the mornings, and they're always doing some like drumming show or dancing show. It's also interactive and fun and lively. So I love
it's so fun.
All the Animal Kingdom shows. My favorite Disney World parade used to be the Animal Kingdom parade, but they took it away. But that was my favorite afternoon parade. I loved it. I miss it. So
the Lopez's definitely did Frozen. They also wrote "Remember Me" from Coco.
Oh, well, I like
these guys are good.
Are they related to Mario Lopez?
And I think Robert Lopez co-wrote Book of Mormon as well. So anyway.
So
fun facts.
Don't underestimate the shows, especially at Animal Kingdom.
Definitely not.
So those were, I don't know what number we're on. So was that my 7?
That was my
8.
That was your 8, so I'm going to have to do my 8. So I'm going to stick with food and say the turkey legs.
I knew turkey legs would be on your list.
My number 8 is turkey legs. So picture like medieval times, if anybody's ever been, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's at, I think, all of the parks now. And you can get turkey legs at Disney Springs. They're everywhere.
So Hollywood Studios for sure. Magic Kingdom for sure.
World Showcase for sure. And I'm almost positive Animal Kingdom as well.
Where?
I don't know, but I feel like I remember eating them there.
Okay.
It's a gigantic turkey leg as big as your head. I like to see these turkeys.
Well, I think they're the turkeys that live in our neighborhood.
Maybe.
If we captured them and cooked them, that's what their legs would be like.
They're huge turkey legs. They're so good. I think that they just feel like they're slow roasted for a long time.
They look gross.
They're so yummy.
I don't think I've ever even had a bite.
I think you did once.
I have no
you
desire.
did once.
I'll just have a fresh dill pickle.
They're as big as your head. They really are. But picture something if people are local, you can get these at King Richard's Fair every year and down here in southern Massachusetts. But also like think of like medieval times or anything like that. It's a good old fashioned turkey leg, like you're in, turn of the century old school England or something. I don't know.
That sounds.
By turn of the century, I meant like 900
Gotcha.
AD. But anyway, turkey leg. So I think that's the last food item on my list. But
so the next thing on my list, sort of sticking with shows, is...
So hold on, is this number 7?
I don't know, because I didn't number them.
10, 9, 8, number 7.
Is Wishes, which no longer exists.
I love that you added it, though.
It was my favorite. So Wishes. So every park has a nighttime show, which often involves some sort of fireworks. And Wishes was probably the one that we saw for the longest at Magic Kingdom. And Tinkerbell would actually like fly down from across the park and cross over Main Street and like light up the castle. And she would light up as she was flying. And then the fireworks are choreographed to music, which means now I hate watching fireworks that are not Disney because there's no soundtrack with them. So, but I just love the Wishes soundtrack and the story it tells. And I could never, ever, ever watch Wishes without crying, like happy tears. So it's my favorite, and I miss it. And we have not seen the replacement show.
We haven't.
Last time we were in Disney, it was freezing, and I was like, it's 32 degrees. I'm not standing outside in the rain to watch the show. So I don't know what we did instead. We probably hovered around a heater. I
think we did.
It was really cold when we went last time. And also because none of us were really ready to kind of see not Wishes.
Yeah, I'm still a little sad. Probably a lot sad about Wishes. Yeah. Didn't we actually play the music to it in the car the other day?
On the way back from the baseball tournament.
I absolutely love that fireworks show.
And nobody asked us to turn it off. Well, nobody asked you. You turned it on.
I turned it on, and we all listened to it sort of silently, just remembering and enjoying it. Now, I remember before we became super big Disney fans, people that used to try to explain. I used to work with a couple of folks who tried to explain to me, how special some of the fireworks shows are, and the music soundtrack that goes along with them. And I look at them like, really? Like literally I'd be riding an ambulance with somebody, a coworker of mine, who would put on like the Illumination soundtrack, and I'd look at them sideways, be like, this is, what am I listening to? Right. And they would try to explain it to me, and you just don't understand until you're actually there.
Yeah, so if you're ever in Disney and you're thinking, ugh, I don't really want to stay up late and see these shows, I've seen fireworks. It's different in Disney.
Yes, it really is.
They pump something into the air that makes it special.
It's
I don't
like
really
Vegas.
know. But it really is truly phenomenal. Like, it's worth the hassle, especially if you've got little kids. It's a hassle.
To get your spot early and wait it out. You have to stake
out your spot. There are people that are mean.
We actually have a lot of fun when we do that.
We like that, right? Like, we'll stake out our spot. We're good at, like, staking out a spot slightly larger than you like, because people are going to encroach upon your spot. So you sort of leave a buffer for that. And there will always be some jerk that runs up right at the start of it and tries to stand in front of you. And it's a good opportunity for you to practice some conflict resolution skills.
Absolutely.
And then afterwards, it's a little bit of it's pandemonium as everyone's trying to get out. But we tend to just sort of step to the side and let the rushing crowd,
let the masses go
in front of us, and then we sort of meander our way out. It's worth it. It's worth all of that hassle to be able to see those nighttime shows. So don't skip them. But Wishes, and it's up there on the list for me. R.I.P.
Wishes. Yeah, I love it very much. Wishes. Anyway,
I can't believe you did that.
Hey, it took me 26 episodes to actually sing a little bit. Okay. Number 7 for me.
I don't know. You're going to keep asking me the numbers? I don't know.
I'm now keeping track of the numbers, so don't you worry. Okay. This is going to sound a little dorky, but it's what came to mind. We did this, we just did it. We just sort of did a brain dump, whatever came to mind. So my number 7 favorite thing about Disney World is innovation. Not innovations like the land,
not the section of Epcot.
Not the section of Epcot, which is
innovations.
A lot of fun. But the innovation of Disney. There's always something going on that they're changing or updating or creating,
which is really difficult for me.
So,
like, Wishes is gone.
Right. So that's one element. But I feel like there's always a section they've got sort of expertly covered because it's being refurbished. There's always refurbishments and changes.
All the times we've gone to Disney, we've never gone to the same Disney twice.
No.
There's always been like
Exactly.
Like
I guess that's my point.
A ride has been closed down because it's being refurbished and something new is being added to it, or it's being completely overhauled and turned into the Frozen ride, or fireworks are new, or they're being taken away, or there's a new restaurant, or the menu has like there's always. You're right. It's never static.
It's always there's always
good, and sometimes we're like, why did you change the Norway ride, the Viking ride, to the Frozen ride?
There's always something being built. There's always something growing and changing, hopefully for the better, and hope maybe if you don't like it, just hang on for the next thing that's going to change. I want to tell a really quick story. When we first started going a lot, when we first began our love of Disney and started going all the time, it was right, and if you know Disney, if you're fans of Disney, it was right during the time where New Fantasyland was being built. So there was a whole section of the Magic Kingdom in the area called Fantasyland, which was covered up, blocked off. Mickey's Toontown Fair went away. I think Jackson actually only saw that once.
I think so.
It was shut down for a long time, a couple of years. And so we always went, and we could never get to that area, obviously, because they were doing construction. It was always shut down. When the New Fantasyland opened up, it was amazing. And that's what I wanted to sort of come back to. People might get upset that there's construction and you can't get to a place and it's maybe inconvenience for you. But in our history, when that opened up, it made all of that time worth it. It was beautiful. And one of my favorite rides went and became as part of that build, which was the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which is a lot of fun. So anyway, number 7 for me is the continuing innovation of Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
All right.
So we are now on your number 6.
So my number 6 would be, I'm still sticking with shows here. They're kind of hovering in the middle of it.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
I think this is my last one. Fantasmic.
Ah.
So that is that is one of the nighttime shows at Hollywood Studios, which probably took me the longest to get into. I was like, that one sounds stupid. I'm good. I don't really want to go. But there's something, I don't know. It's like every character ever like every Disney character ever.
Yeah.
And there's
up until Pocahontas, because that's when the show was created.
Oh.
So
has it not been changed since Pocahontas?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. So up until Pocahontas,
except
which
the new
was
princesses are on the boat. At the end, there's like all the princesses and princes are on the boat. But it's like you're in an amphitheater and there's this sort of stage, and Mickey is the conductor, and they're folding in classic Disney music, and there's like stunts and fireworks and pyro stuff. It's
amazing.
And you don't have to fight for a spot. It's not like watching Wishes or Illuminations at Epcot where you have to like stake out a spot. You have like a seat on a bench.
Yeah.
And everyone has a good seat.
And you can do different like dinner packages and stuff.
Yeah, and you can eat snacks during it. You could get a
preferred
glass
seating.
Of beer.
Yeah.
Like it's a different kind of nighttime show. And I really, really
it's amazing. The production value is through the roof.
Yeah.
And the music, again, we talk about music, is so fun.
Yeah.
And so catchy.
Really, it's my favorite show. Fantastic.
I don't know why, but I feel like
we didn't see it last time either.
We didn't see it last time. When we first started going a few years ago when Jackson was little, I feel like we shied away from it a little bit. I don't know why. Like we didn't really.
The crowd, because it's kind of tucked away. The line is really long.
It is tucked away.
People say like you have to stand in line for a long time, but the thing is, you don't really.
You don't really. There's usually a lot of seats, especially at the later shows.
You're not going to get like front and center, but there's no bad seats. So
there really is. You can see everything. And like I said, if you do a dinner package at one of the restaurants, sit-down restaurants at Hollywood Studios, you have to do some research.
Why aren't we doing that this week?
I don't know. We probably should.
Uh-oh.
But you can make dinner reservations, and part of the dinner reservations includes preferred seating for Fantasmic. It doesn't cost anything extra, but it's part of your dinner reservation. And so you don't have to worry about lines or anything. You just go get preferred seating. It's not right up at the front.
Well, it does
but
cost
it's still,
extra if you're not doing the dining plan.
If you're not doing the Disney dining plan, it does cost a little extra.
Right.
But it's an option if you don't feel like waiting in the line. But I love Fantasmic. I love your number 6.
Thanks.
Okay, so my number 6 is just World Showcase in general.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite section of Walt Disney World. And if you don't know, that's the section of Epcot that is all the countries, right? It's the sort of the backside of Epcot. If you come in through Spaceship Earth, which is the big golf ball. The ball. And that's called Future World. And you basically go straight through by the fountains, which are beautiful. That could definitely top 20, the fountains in Future World. Anyway, you go straight to the back section of Epcot, which is World Showcase. We have so much fun in World Showcase. How many countries are there? I should have looked this up.
Let's try to name them, but that was next on my list.
Oh, was it really?
I wrote World Showcase, but specifically afternoons and evenings. But I guess it's only open in the afternoon. Well, it doesn't open until 11.
Right, it doesn't. And so let me talk about why I like it, and then we're going to take a quick break. Is that your number 5?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Right? You said
so
you
I was
going to worry about the numbers anymore.
Okay. So that's your number 5. So I'll finish my spiel, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do our top 5. But for World Showcase, for me, I think it is my favorite because of the family time for me. First of all, the theming is amazing. The cast members are, for the majority of them, are from the countries that are represented. And we come back from the break, we can try to list them. There's things for the kids to do in each of the countries. There's amazing restaurants and food all throughout the entire land in each country. And a really good beer, too. One of my favorite places in all of Walt Disney World is World Showcase. But why don't we take a quick break? We'll be right back, and we can talk about why you love World Showcase, and we'll do our top 5. Okay. You good with that?
That's fine.
All right. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? My name's Tim from the Shut Up and Dad podcast, and I hope you're enjoying this show. If you're looking for some laughs after you finish listening to this episode, come check out Shut Up and Dad. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and your favorite podcast platform by searching Shut Up and Dad, or simply head to our website, shutupanddad-podcast.com, where you can listen to episodes, read our blog, and find links to our show. That's shutupanddad-podcast.com.
All right, we are back. So, Jenny, tell us why World Showcase is your number 5 and why you like it.
Because it's so unlike all the other stuff we've talked about, right? Like having to sort of get a seat for a show, book your dining, book your fast passes for the rides, like have it all planned out. I love World Showcase because there's something really relaxed about it. Like you come up to the sort of entrance to World Showcase and you either decide to go right or left because it's a circle around a big lagoon. And we always tend to go clockwise. We tend to...
yes.
Unless we're coming in from the other side, then we go counterclockwise.
Wait, no, I feel like we go to Mexico first. That's counterclockwise.
Nope. Then you're going around.
Oh, no, that's not counterclockwise.
Do we go back to kindergarten?
Maybe. Don't even go there.
Yeah, so you could go clockwise or counterclockwise, and you can just you could skip a country, you could meander in through all of the countries. A lot of the countries, Disney sort of worked with the host country to sort of design it authentically. Yeah. So there's food that's sort of authentic to the region. There's
government
drinks.
of Morocco,
specifically, I think they
couldn't do anything without their approval.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're beautiful, and the way that you sort of transition from like Mexico to what's next to Mexico? Norway? China? What's wrong with us?
Norway.
It's sort of seamless. Like everything is just authentic to that one culture, that one area,
right.
And then it transitions and you're in like another world. Now, Josh and I have actually traveled outside of the country and
yes, we have
been to some of these real countries, and so I'm not saying this takes the place of it, but I'm saying it's really enjoyable to just kind of stroll through. When our kids were really little, they had Mission Kim Possible.
Yes.
Remember that TV show Mission Impossible?
Do, do, do,
so
do.
they had these little like cell phones. It was a cell phone like scavenger hunt essentially for kids, and so it would take them through multiple
so
countries.
much fun. Yeah.
It was fun. We would get like a drink, the two of us, and we'd sort of walk through as the kids did their little scavenger hunt, and it would be lovely. It's never the same. They also have little activities for kids if you go sort of all the way into the countries. Last time we went, the last few times, it was sort of Duffy, which is Mickey's first teddy bear, Duffy Bear.
Yeah.
The kids could color a Duffy in every country. You're supposed to do like you're supposed to color him a little bit in each country, but our kids were always like, I'm coloring a whole Duffy in each country.
Oh, yeah.
So we would walk out with like 26 Duffies.
Well, 11 to be exact.
So we would walk out with 22 Duffies.
Yes.
But they'll also like write your name. They'll write the kids' names in their language. So like in Spanish in Mexico, in German in Germany, stuff like that. It's kind of laid back and relaxing, and I never know what's going to happen.
I love World Showcase. It's so much fun.
And I love that our people always say like, oh, it's so boring for kids, but I think our kids have always really
love
liked it.
World Showcase. Now that they're getting older too and they're becoming little foodies, I think they enjoy eating around the world as well, and some of the fun drinks, the non-alcoholic ones, of course. So I have the list of countries in front of me. There are 11. Do you want to guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, before you do that, though, real quick, the other thing about World Showcase, which is so much fun, is a lot of the festivals that they have. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the different festivals while I go let Everett in the house?
Sure. I'm not quite sure what festivals you're talking about, but each
like
country...
the Food and Wine Festival?
Oh, I wasn't thinking... All right, I'll get to that in a second.
Flower and Garden?
I was also thinking...
Holidays?
Okay, gotcha. But when you walk into Epcot, or on your app, you can get a little times guide, and each country will do some sort of show or performance. So like a street performance for maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes or so that sort of showcases the culture of that country. And so that's really fun too. We never really read the times guide and say we have to go to the 240 show of the mime in France. But if we happen upon it, we'll stop and watch it. And actually, one of our photos on our mantle is from Jackson in the Italy pavilion with, I don't quite know what that guy is. He's some sort of street performer.
He's like a juggler.
He's a juggler.
Kind of a mime.
Sergio maybe is his name.
He talks with a whistle.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound spectacular, but he's so much fun. And so I have a great picture of Jackson got picked to sort of be in the show one day, and it's just fun. Like it's
very interactive,
kind of stuff,
that show.
That kind of stuff that like when we walked into Epcot that day, we didn't know that's what we were going to be doing, but we just happened upon it. And so you're always happening upon something in Epcot in World Showcase, and it's just fun. So festivals, to your point,
yes,
they now have festivals really every single time of the year.
Yeah, now it's weird where there's no festival going on.
The big one is Food and Wine Festival, which runs from like the end of the summer through the beginning of November, where in each of these countries they'll set up little shops that are now sort of permanent shops. They're just not always open, that give you sort of small tasting plates of cuisine and drinks that are native to that country. And they'll bring in other countries.
Yes.
Like Brazil's my favorite all the time. I want them to bring in a Brazilian pavilion permanently. But so there's always like extra stuff going on too. So that is really, it could have been my number one, World Showcase. I could go there every day.
So do you want to try to guess the country? So there are 11. You already said Mexico and Norway. We already did that. So what's next?
So it's going to be Mexico, Norway, and then I want to say that it is Japan. Germany.
I think it's Germany. So they don't have them listed in order, which is weird.
All right,
but,
okay.
Well, so just don't worry about that. So there's
Mexico,
so Germany,
Mexico, Norway, Germany, I think China. Then I don't think Japan is next to China, but in my head it is. And then there's Italy.
Yep.
And Morocco.
Yep.
And France.
Yep.
And the UK.
Uh-huh.
And Canada. Do they count the outpost as a country?
No, they do not.
So what am I missing? America.
Yes.
I forgot America.
They do have the United States Pavilion as well.
Yeah, that's like it's like a sort of colonial.
I like it. Yeah,
America.
it's like a colonial America. It's not current.
Yeah.
There's not like a Starbucks over there with a I don't know. Speedway with a gas station. You imagine like if that's what it was. Like McDonald's, Starbucks, a Speedway, and a Target.
Yeah.
And there it is.
And outside of the America Pavilion, the America sort of pavilion is another sort of, what do you call that? Another sort of entertainment. It's not a pavilion.
A stage?
It's a stage, but it's. I would be really bad on $100,000.
That just makes me think of Friends.
But they also have great shows there. And who did we see there? We saw Sister Christian.
It's a theater.
It's a theater. Yes.
Yeah.
Sister Christian
Outdoor
is not
theater.
the band. That's
Sister Christian.
that's the song. Oh my God! Who's the?
Everybody out there in podcast land is like screaming at their speakers.
Not really. We also saw Boys to Men.
Boys to Men.
Yeah, like these are free shows.
Who else did we see? We saw Tiffany. Didn't we see Tiffany?
No, we did not see Tiffany. I don't remember Tiffany. We saw Patty's Loveless. Is she a country singer, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yearwood, maybe?
Oh my God, who sings Sister Christian?
Night Ranger.
Night Ranger. Yes, we saw Night Ranger.
Yeah, I'm sure
so it's so much fun.
Other people.
Yeah, we have seen a lot
during the festival. So you could like wait in line and get a seat, or you could.
It's
still
Eat to the Beat series, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So lots of fun.
Lots of fun
so
at
that's
World
my top
Showcase.
5. We could have done a whole episode on that. Okay.
Which maybe we will in the future. Okay, so number 5 for me, just a general Disney World top 10 list. Number 5, believe it or not, are the characters. Now, what do I mean by characters? I mean the walk around characters you get to meet. So the Disney themed characters, Mickey, Goofy, Donald, Daisy, Minnie, Pluto, all those guys. And then you have all those other ancillary characters. There are so many, from the Pixar movies, from regular Disney animated movies. You can meet them all over the place. There's meet and greets scheduled all throughout the parks. At restaurants, you have character meals, character dining, where the characters come to your table during your meal. Now, everybody out there might be going, well, you got a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and you're almost 40. Why do I like the characters? And I will say, too, it's not my top 10 list because we meet the characters. Like, I don't plan my trip around meeting them or taking pictures with them. I just love that they have them, and I love that they're there and you can meet them. And no matter how old I am, even if we don't plan to meet them, when we're walking along and we see like Captain Hook come out, or Peter Pan, or Princess, or whatever, it's like, oh, look, right? I mean, we always have that reaction. It's like, oh, there's Donald. And we point and we're getting excited. And if the line's really short, we might make the boys jump in just to get a picture.
Especially if it's a special character, like Pirate Goofy.
Yes.
Or my favorite was Duffy. We would always stand in line for Duffy.
Duffy was the best.
We
like Stitch.
Family pictures with Stitch. I don't know why.
So there's, I like the rare ones. Those are a lot of fun to see. Like on the hard ticket events, like the Halloween party they do in the fall, or the the Christmas party they do. They bring out some of those rare characters, meet and greets, and those are fun. But anyway, the characters, I just love that they have them, and the feeling the boys get, even if they might not say it out loud, the feeling you get when you see them. Even though you know that in there is a cast member.
No,
right? But anyway, so characters, that's my number 5.
Okay. My number 4 is my only ride.
Oh, okay.
Space Mountain.
Nice. Good choice.
Yeah, I always love Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Like it's probably a ride that I feel like has not changed at all, even though we've seen it change, because for a number of years when we went, it was down and being like refurbished, and so you could actually go in it with the lights on. But it's a dark ride. It's a dark roller coaster that feels like you're going super fast, but I actually think it's the slowest roller coaster at Disney.
It is, actually.
And I don't know, there's just something like nostalgic about it because my dad would do it, my grandfather would do it. And when you're little, it seemed like this awesome like thrill ride, and it doesn't get old. It's just, it feels old. It feels like it always felt. It probably feels like the oldest ride at Disney for me.
Yeah, I mean,
like the queue feels old. It just,
well, they've done some updates to it though. Yeah, but no, I get that. It's like nostalgic Disney. I think it opened in 1971 when this park opened.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really much.
I could be wrong about that, but
and like the cars are small.
But there's two different tracks, so when you ride it, you don't know which one you're going to get, and they're slightly different. I love the theming in there. It's just good old Disney fun with space. It was nostalgic for me too because I think it was when I went for the first time in 1996. It was my favorite ride, and I remember riding with my uncle. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, and I think it was Jacob's first favorite thrill ride.
I think so
as well. And I'll never forget when he wanted to be in the front car. And he ended up asking, or you asked the cast member for him to be in the front car. And I was like freaking out. Jackson and I both were like, oh my God, Jacob's in the front car.
You can't. Because for us, so when we're on a roller coaster, and this is because when we were in high school and on a roller coaster together, my lap bar.
Agawam? We were out it was a Six Flags in Western Massachusetts.
Yeah, it wasn't Six Flags then.
It was, what was it?
Now.
Riverside?
Maybe it was Riverside.
Something like that.
But my lap bar came undone on the old wooden roller coaster.
Yep.
And like undone, like I was not safe. You and my dad was on the ride with us, and so the two of you like
held
me in to the ride, saved my life. And so now, when we're on roller coasters with our children, we're a little bit paranoid,
a little apprehensive
that our children's bars are going to come undone. So we like to sort of also hold them, especially when they were little. So the sort of inclination would be, because you sort of ride one behind another, so sort of your kids sort of ride in between your legs, the inclination would be to like reach your arms out and kind of keep your hand on them, because you also can't see them on Space Mountain because it's so dark.
It's so dark, right?
Theoretically, in your panic mind, they could fall out and you might not even know until you pull back in and you're like, hey, it's empty now. So, but you can't reach them in the Space Mountain car. So he gets in the front and he is all by himself. You can't reach him, you can't feel him. And he just had a blast.
Yeah, he loved it. He loves Space Mountain.
So I love Space Mountain too. And
good.
It's one of those rides that like all four of us can do.
Yes.
It's fun.
And in one of the first rides, he was tall enough for.
Yes.
So that's,
like
I think that's special.
Rides
yeah, exactly. The ones with height restrictions. All right, good one. Space Mountain. Okay, my number 4 is all of the background music. Yeah. All throughout the parks. And I'm not talking about, people might be thinking, oh, what do you mean, like the soundtrack of like Kmart as you're walking through, like that elevator type music? I mean, no, not at all. It's some of your favorite Disney songs and Disney movie soundtracks, and some non-Disney movie soundtracks. Like they play, I think it's some of the Indiana Jones soundtrack, or Superman. Actually, they play like old school Christopher Reeve Superman movie soundtrack in Epcot, and it's such, it speaks to the atmosphere that Disney tries to create, where you sort of get lost in a world. And
the music is themed to whatever part of the park you're in.
Exactly. Like when you're in the Harambe section, like Jenny mentioned earlier, of Animal Kingdom.
Disney music that you're hearing.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's sort of African themed.
Yeah. And it's, you cannot walk to really any part of Disney except for maybe the restroom and not hear music playing.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I love about Walt Disney World. And when you get close to, let's say you get close to a specific ride, the music changes. And like I'm in particular, I like the music that's plays outside of Test Track, another thrill ride in Epcot. The music changes when you go from one section to the Test Track section or whatever. So all throughout all of Walt Disney World, including Disney Springs, there's music playing at all times, just 24/7. There's speakers everywhere. really, I mean, you can't, I think there might even be music in the bathrooms. But anyway, you really can't go to any place in Walt Disney World and not hear music playing. I love the feeling it makes you have when you're walking through. The other thing I will say, they even have music playing in one of the pools, right? Under the water in one of the pools. Art of Animation.
Speakers.
Yes.
Yes,
And it's the largest pool at a resort in Walt Disney World. And there's music even playing underwater. So that's my number 4.
All right, so number 3 for me is the only food item on my list. And that, can you guess what my food item is?
Okay, hold on. Food item. Your only one on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Jalapeno cheese pretzel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think doesn't really exist anymore. But,
oh, no.
But last time we were there, it was there some days at like
it was
a
so
random
good.
window in Magic Kingdom. But it used to be a pretzel that was available in every park at one time. And it's just like a warm, soft pretzel that's lightly stuffed with a spicy white cheddar jalapeno cheese. It was like...
Cream cheese. Right? Or no?
No, it's not like a sweet cream cheese. No, I don't think it's a cream cheese.
Just a soft cheese?
Yeah, it's like a soft cheese.
It's so good.
Delightful.
My
it's
favorite...
Like salty and soft and a little bit of heat to it. And then, because Disney is always changing things, they like took it away. And so I have to do some research and see if I'll be able to
We gotta try to find it.
It's my favorite.
My favorite food pairing, when it comes to that pretzel is in Hollywood Studios. The same cart that has those pretzels also has...
Churros.
No, that's not a good pairing, though.
No, but the churros
Yes.
just reminded me of the churros.
Is that cart also has Sam Adams on draft.
Yes.
So a nice cold glass of Sam Adams with a jalapeno cheese pretzel. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That could have made my top 10.
Yeah, so that's my favorite. I will say a traditional Mickey pretzel would be a close second. Like it's an actual
I knew it was going to be a pretzel. Yeah,
soft pretzel shaped like a Mickey.
Right, but the better one is they also have the cinnamon ones, right?
I don't really like those.
The cinnamon cream cheese. That's what I was thinking. Cream cheese.
I don't like a sweet pretzel.
You're not a sweet.
I like
dessert.
salty.
Yeah, salty
and spicy, carbs and warm cheese. Remember, if we go back to a few episodes ago,
Yep.
that is why I like that one. Carbs and warm cheese.
Okay, so that's a good number 3. My number 3 is, you already sort of mentioned this, but you only mentioned it in a specific section, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, you mentioned it in Animal Kingdom. Anyway, my number 3 is live music. Just in general, all throughout the park. So over the roaming musicians, and there's specific scheduled regular shows, actually all throughout World Showcase, all throughout the parks. Actually, you can see there's like a times guide for each of the parks, and you can figure out when the live music will be playing. In particular,
there's no live music in Magic Kingdom. Well,
yeah, there is.
There is. There's the shows at the castle.
Well, no, and there's also one of my favorites is the marching band.
Oh, right.
It's on my list.
Oh, and all the people on like Main Street.
Yeah.
Right,
and so my 2 favorites as far as live music go are, number 1, the marching band in Magic Kingdom, which is a group of musicians who are excellent. They are at the top of their game. The sound coming from their horns is so amazing. The drumming is a lot of fun as well. And it's funny. There's characters. There's one particular trumpet player who I love. It's kind of like the band leader. But it's a good old traditional marching band, and that's the whole point of Main Street. And the Magic Kingdom is sort of a throwback to the turn of the century, sort of when Walt grew up. And one of those things is a good old-fashioned marching band, which reminds me of one of my favorite musicals of all time, which is The Music Man. It always kind of reminds me of that. They actually play 76 trombones a lot. That's on their repertoire. My other favorite live music experience is, of course, the Jammers at Epcot World Showcase. During Food and Wine Festival, they changed their name to the Epcot Jammin' Chefs. But they are the Jammers, and they basically, think of Stomp, the show Stomp.
And they're supposed to be like janitors, which is why they're called the janitors.
Yeah, so their main instruments are trash cans, right? But they're drummers. They're amazing, again, top of their game drummers. percussionists, and they're really, really, really good. And they're funny. They involve the audience. The best is just coming up on them. That's a lot of fun. Just not even knowing that they're there, and they suddenly you hear drumming, and it's like, oh, the Jammers. But again, you can find their times guide all throughout the Disney World app or on the maps inside the parks, the paper ones. But anyway, that's my number 3, the live music. In particular, the Magic Kingdom Marching Band and the Jammers.
It's interesting that we've only had one match on our list.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
That's interesting.
I say that because I'm wondering if this is on your list, this next one.
Okay.
Number 2. Breakfast at Crystal Palace.
It's not on my list.
Not on your list.
No,
okay.
That's great though. I love it.
That is probably the dining experience our family has done the most. And I don't know that so this is a restaurant in the Magic Kingdom right in front of the castle. And in the morning for breakfast, they have a character breakfast with all the Winnie the Pooh characters. I don't know that we've ever been able to say oh, we love Winnie the Pooh. It's our favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I love Pooh, and I love the whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it just has become sort of this thing we did. Probably the first time we went, we had breakfast our first full day at Magic Kingdom, and they used to let you in early if you had a breakfast reservation that was early, so you got to walk down Main Street before it was actually open. And it's just a nice, delightful little breakfast. It's not crowded. It's a buffet. They have Pooh's puffed French toast, which is amazing. Always makes me feel lousy because it's it's
the
fried,
entire meal does.
It's fried French toast that's then rolled in cinnamon sugar. So I have a massive carb and sugar crash after.
Yeah, isn't it French toast rolled in pancake batter and fried in?
Yes.
Fried and then rolled in cinnamon sugar. Yeah.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Amazing. But
not my favorite item there. I'll talk about mine in a second.
So it's been replaced because finally I've been this is killing me. They have these wonderful, quiche. I think they're quiche. They're a cheddar bacon savory quiche.
Those are good.
That are amazing. You can also.
I prefer savory for breakfast, actually.
Yeah, I do too. But the Pooh's French toast, there's something about those.
But one of the things I love about Crystal
breakfast
Palace is the lasagna.
So
the breakfast lasagna is not savory. It's very sweet. It's basically this almost like a bread pudding type parfait. It's got, I think it has, I don't even know. It's
sauteed with peas.
Yeah, no. Second Friends reference.
Jackson's been watching it in the mornings.
I didn't even know what's in it. It's fruit and pudding and some sort of cakeish, pink. It's so good. It's so rich. It's very sweet. But it's called breakfast lasagna. But my second favorite thing is the breakfast pizza at Crystal Palace, which is basically pizza, but it's covered scrambled eggs and bacon and cheese. It's really good.
They don't do a make your own omelet bar there, right?
I don't remember.
No, I think the chefs behind the counter there are making pancakes and Mickey waffles. Sometimes they have chocolate Mickey waffles, which I've actually never had, but I hear sometimes they're there.
I think I have had chocolate Mickey waffles.
The funny thing about breakfast at Crystal Palace is probably 80% of the time we've gone, we've had the same exact waiter.
Thank you so much for bringing it up, because I was going to bring it up. His name is Ariel. He's my favorite cast member of all time.
There's
no offense to my brother.
There's probably 4 different main sections you can get sat in Crystal Palace, and we just always have gotten sat in his. We should, and we have a reservation there this next trip. We should ask.
Maybe we should ask for Ariel.
I'm going to look him up on Instagram.
He's the best. We went the last time we went to Crystal Palace.
We got a picture with him.
When we went. He actually wasn't our waiter that time, but we went up to him and said, "Listen, we know you. We've been coming here for so many years, and we've had you a bunch of times, and you're the best." And he took a picture with the boys. He loved it.
All the staff is great. The character interactions are great. It's just a nice start. So that was one of the first reservations I was able to grab for this next trip. It's our first full day in Disney. We're going to be at Magic Kingdom, and we're having breakfast at Crystal Palace.
So that was your number 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't decide which one I want for my number 1.
Oh, well, you have to.
I know. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. My number 2, Walt Disney World top 10 list, just in general, is smells. Okay. Disney World smells.
Okay. But okay.
It's not weird. Think about it. How amazing are the smells all throughout Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
So one of the most delicious smelling areas is the bakery in, which is now actually Starbucks, right?
I don't think that's the most delicious.
One of the most delicious. Right. But
Main Street Bakery became Starbucks, which
still amazing.
Some Main Street Bakery stuff, but
also the candy shop on Main Street smells amazing. Spaceship Earth has some amazing smells. You've got there's something about.
I think they're amazing. They're very distinctive.
Well, distinctive, and it's immersive.
Yes.
Walt Disney World is amazing because of all of the senses that you need to really experience it. So you've got obviously the visuals, you've got the hearing, the music, right, and then the touch of actually doing the rides and everything, and of course the smells.
So, and my sister, there's a company that has like a whole line of Walt Disney World scents. And so
you looked at me weird when I said smells,
but I had to get there. Yeah, like the Tiki Room, and I think they had one that smells like the Polynesian Resort. My favorite smell is the old orange grove from the old version of the Soarin' ride in Epcot, which is gone
that's
now.
in there, Soarin'.
That was my favorite.
I think Future World has a specific smell. Like each in Spaceship Earth, of course, you have, which we talked about this in our myths about, what the ball is, what the golf ball is. It's actually a ride called Spaceship Earth, and it takes you through the history of man, essentially. And you go through when Rome fell, and there are these, obviously it's supposed to depict fire and the burning of Rome, and you can actually smell fire, like burning wood, and that's just one of those smells. So it's very immersive. So my number 2 is the smells of Walt Disney World.
Okay, so my number 1 is the unexpected. That's my favorite thing about Disney World. Is for all of the reservations you make and ride plans you make and sort of planning that you do around like what park are we going to be in.
Can I get hokey for a second?
Hold on. How are we going to get there? Really, ultimately, my favorite part of Disney is the stuff that happens in between that. It's that unexpected stuff, like rolling up on the janitors or deciding last minute to like make a dinner reservation somewhere else and like go do 3 parks in one day. Or to like decide to go back to the hotel and hang out at the pool all day, or to do a horse and carriage ride and book one at our hotel. Like it's just the unexpected stuff that you don't plan ahead of time that you have space to do around your other plans. So that kind of overall is my favorite.
I'd like to get a little hokey and rename your number 1 as Unexpected Magic.
That's really hokey.
I know, but it is though. I mean, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Disney fans refer to that all the time, like the magic of Walt Disney World, and that's what it is, the unexpected stuff. That's a good one.
That's my favorite stuff.
Some of our favorite memories have been those unexpected moments.
Yeah, and I think our lives, you and I, are so planned, and the boys are so planned, like minute to minute. And so it's nice to go away and to not be planned minute to minute. You still have to have sort of a scaffold of a plan. But then to really allow yourself space to just change those plans.
Yeah.
And lean into whatever is there.
Right, exactly.
At that time, whether it's a street performer or deciding to like, you love that ride so much, you're going to get back in line and stand in line for an hour for it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, wait, that's only 35 minutes? Let's jump back in.
Exactly. Yeah. Or, let's try this new food, or, oh, hey, we've always wanted to try this restaurant. No one's there. Let's go try it out. Or this is sort of pretty crowded. Let's just scrap our plans for the rest of the day and take a monorail to Epcot. That stuff is my favorite.
There was one, the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, which is the Indiana Jones themed show in Hollywood Studios. Lots of audience participation in that. And I remember one year I raised my hand and I was in like the whole show.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It must have been fun they were little at that point, but it must have been fun for the boys to see me up there. And
I was like, wait a second, he's the other parent here, and now I'm a little with two small kids.
It was a lot of fun though.
No, that's like the unexpected stuff. Like your dad got picked for, we weren't there, but to be in the Hoop-de-Doo show.
Hoop-de-Doo, yeah.
Jackson's got picked in the street performer thing.
Yep.
I think Cole has gotten picked to be
a ton
in
of
the street performer
times,
thing.
different things,
He gets picked a lot.
But I still haven't been that
guy in the Monsters Inc.
Yes.
The last floor.
Thank you for knowing what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's a fun thing too.
Yeah.
So there's, listen, these two lists just came up. They were sort of brain dumps for us.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
I haven't done my number one yet.
Yeah, sorry, that sort of felt like a number one.
So my number one is, drum roll, the first walk down Main Street.
Yeah. Which usually for us is coupled with breakfast at
Crystal Palace, right.
Mm-hmm.
But when you first get to Walt Disney World and you've just arrived for your vacation and your first day at Magic Kingdom, you take that first walk down Main Street, which is the street that leads you to the castle, Cinderella's castle. And again, Main Street is just so amazingly themed. You start off with the train station, and you see all of the storefronts, which you have that forced perspective, so it looks like that's taller than it actually is and farther away, and so many little Easter eggs all throughout Main Street. And it's supposed to bring you back to a time of old America at the turn of the century, 1900s, when Walt grew up in whatever part of the country he grew up in. I should know that. I did know it at some point, but you've got, again, the background music, the smells. I think that's why I chose it as my number one, because it incorporates so many of the things we talked about on this top 10 list.
It does. And I think it's really easy to miss that. I think in all of these are really easy to miss. And I think folks that come back from Disney and they're like, I hate Disney, probably don't know to sort of lean into these moments, to like, don't go with the crowd. Don't rush down Main Street. Like, take your time, kind of stroll down Main Street and really take it all in and sort of experience it all. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the little things going on, the trolley cars that are coming down the road. It's really easy to kind of get caught up and be like, oh, I need a picture here and we got to go in line. And it's really easy to get kind of swept up into the hustle and bustle of things. But if you take your time and slow down, there's some wonderful things. So, I guess
you get it. Yeah.
We probably could come up with another list of 30 things that we like, each of us.
Well, listen, I think that part of us wants to scrap this whole changing perspectives thing and just do a Disney podcast. But I think we can get our fix by sprinkling in some Disney episodes. And listen, if you come to us for the grief episodes, you come to us for the anxiety, mental health episodes, or the parenting episodes, hopefully you stay for episodes like this that are lighter. But, we're going to share with you information about lots of different types of topics that are important to us, topics we know a little bit about, or maybe we're going to explore with you over the air. But hopefully this was fun. This is something that's important to us. We will sprinkle in some Disney because we love it so much. There's so many amazing Disney podcasts out there. We're not trying to compete with any, which we just couldn't if we wanted to, because there's so many great ones. But this is just our way to share with you a different perspective of one of our favorite places on Earth.
Yeah, maybe we could do a trip report if we do end up going to Disney but not going to Disney.
We should do a trip report.
We could do a little trip report on that. And for our big trip, our like 7-night Disney World plus cruise trip, maybe we could do some sort of trip report or record footage while we're away. I think,
we might be able to do that too for this upcoming trip too. Just a little teaser.
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
That out.
Yeah. Okay, that was our top 10.
That was our top 10. Yeah, I don't know that we were going to have the boys do this with us and each of us do our top 5, but they could not be bothered. It's the end of the school
year. They're a little
year.
busy, I guess.
They're like fried.
They were,
but there might be a part 2 where we get to hear sort of the kids' perspective. I'd actually really like to hear their perspective without them hearing our list.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't play this episode in front of them.
I forgot to say, we forgot about the Dapper Dans.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say them when you were
live music in Magic Kingdom, in Main Street, the Dapper Dans. It's
like
a barbershop quartet.
Mm-hmm. They're really good.
Anyway, do you have anything else for us, Jenny?
No, except this new microphone picks up my breathing, so I'm really sorry.
Well, I don't know. It's today the monitoring audio and then the playback audio is very different. So I don't know what's going on, but we'll see how this sounds. I don't like
this microphone that you borrowed to try a higher tech microphone. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
My hand hurts from holding it because it's big.
Well, you like to hold the mics, which you don't actually need to do, but
I like that.
Okay. We'll figure that out. All right, everybody. Well, don't forget to like us, review us, and follow us all over our social media. Check out our previous episodes. We just had a great episode released prior to this one, episode 25, on myths about youth tackle football. A little bit of a controversial topic. We had fun talking about it. Lots of fun stuff coming up for us. We have some guest spots on some shows. Pop Culture Cosmos, talking about Game of Thrones and some other pop culture topics. I've got a guest spot coming up on the great podcast called Shut Up and Dad. And we've got some upcoming interviews coming to our show as well, coming your way for this month and the next month. Also, I wanted to invite everybody to check out the Instagram page and Facebook page to submit your questions. Jenny posted a questions post because we are planning an episode. Do you want to talk a little bit about that for a second, Jenny?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't really have anything to say about it. Just at some point, kind of listener questions, either about specific content or about us, or about any of the sort of topics we haven't talked about. Just sort of looking to see, we're 26 episodes in.
Yeah.
Looking to see what have we sort of missed. What are the sort of holes that people are sort of still curious about the topics we've already covered. Just want to sort of make sure that we're always looping back to what we've already done.
So it will be like a Q&A episode, and it's a shout out, one of my favorite podcasts of all time. Stuff you should know. We'll do like a listener mail type episode. So go ahead and check out that post on both Instagram and Facebook. All right, Jenny, do you have anything else?
Nope.
All righty. So that is going to do it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You can learn more on this topic of Walt Disney World by going to Google and putting in Walt Disney World. There's so many amazing websites and podcasts and YouTube channels. Go check all that out. Please follow us on Facebook at Changing Perspectives Podcast and on Instagram at Changing Perspectives Blog. You can check out our website by going to changingperspectivesblog.com or send us an email to changingpodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and we will see you next time. Say bye, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
The Changing Perspectives podcast is produced, recorded, and edited by Disneybird Studios, Whitman, Massachusetts. Visit Disneybird Studios on Facebook, facebook.com/Disneybird Studios.